Did you know that over 100 million people worldwide are displaced, yet millions more hesitate to share their resources to help them? This stark paradox exposes a crucial tension in our world today, the balance between individual freedom and collective responsibility. In my contemporary world course, I've discovered that these two values, while seemingly contradictory, are deeply interconnected and essential for addressing the most pressing global challenges. In this speech, I will explore how these values play a crucial role in shaping our responses to issues and how embracing them can guide us toward a more just and sustainable future. The escalating conflict between Vice President Sara Duterte and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. illustrates the importance of governance in maintaining political stability. This political rift affects national unity and the democratic process, drawing attention to how individual freedom can undermine collective responsibility. As political figures exercise their freedom of speech, their actions impact the broader political systems and citizens' trust. Effective governance, as learned in Module 3, relies on the balance between autonomy and the collective good, where leaders must prioritize democratic integrity over personal conflicts to ensure national cohesion. Next, the rise of the Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators, or POGOs, is a microcosm of the larger global economy and its complex structures, as discussed in Module 2. While POGOs offer economic benefits, they also contribute to issues like money laundering and human trafficking, which compromise individual freedoms. This situation shows the tension between economic autonomy and the collective responsibility to safeguard the public from exploitation. Market integration in Module 2.1 facilitates economic growth, but it also demands ethical oversight. Without regulation and accountability, economic freedoms may lead to harm, underscoring the importance of ethical governance and sustainable development goals we must adhere to. Then, the environmental challenges of 2024, such as the devastating floods in Pakistan and Bangladesh, highlight the pressing need for collective responsibility in the context of climate change, as outlined in Module 7. Individual actions like carbon emissions have global consequences, and we are collectively responsible for mitigating environmental damage. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals call for international cooperation to combat climate change, ensuring that individual freedoms do not come at the expense of future generations. Countries' ability to meet their climate commitments hinges on cooperation, shared responsibility, and the protection of vulnerable communities. This global approach to sustainability directly ties into the idea that environmental stewardship transcends borders and requires collective action. Human rights violation in conflict zones like Ukraine and Gaza underscore the deep divisions between the global north and south, as discussed in Module 4. The right to life and security, integral to individual freedom, is under threat in these areas, revealing the failure of states to uphold their responsibilities. The international community must unite in solidarity to protect the rights of civilians, as global governance mechanisms emphasize collective responsibility in times of crisis. When human rights are violated, especially in the global south, it is a stark reminder of how global inequalities perpetuate suffering, making international cooperation essential in providing humanitarian aid and advocating for justice. Globalization, as discussed in Module 5, challenges cultural identity as modernity intersects with tradition. In countries like India, the influence of global media and ideas pushes for cultural transformation, yet there's a strong desire to preserve local customs and identities. This tension between individual freedom to express oneself and collective responsibility to protect cultural heritage is central to discussions around nationalism and globalization. As people navigate the influence of global media, they must balance personal freedoms with the responsibility to maintain social cohesion. The debate about cultural preservation versus change reflects how global citizenship, understood in Module 8, requires a mutual respect for diverse identities and the responsible management of cultural practices in a globalized world. In conclusion, the global challenges we face today, whether political turmoil, economic injustice, or environmental degradation, reveal a fundamental truth: individual freedom cannot thrive in isolation. True freedom is realized when we acknowledge our collective responsibility to each other and to the world around us. From political conflicts to the devastating impacts of climate change, our choices affect more than just ourselves. So I ask you, will we continue to prioritize our own freedoms at the expense of the greater good, or will we choose to act with empathy, respect, and solidarity, creating a future where both individual rights and collective well-being are safeguarded? The time for action is now, and the responsibility rests with each of us.